Continuity in Hollywood films hasn't always been so great. The longer a franchise goes on, the more they end up retconning events or messing up their timeline and just hope we don't question it. But for some franchises, they have reached a point where there's no salvaging the storyline with a prequel or sequel. So instead they opt to reboot the franchise, erasing certain films from the canon and rebuilding it with the pieces they want to keep going forward. Take the MCU example, with their whole merging of multiple franchise universes so they can basically use time travel and reality warping to unmake and remake their cinematic universe going forward. Or even the Halloween franchise, which just said all the films after the first installment were to be ignored, for better or for worse, depending on your fandom. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every new sub helps us achieve our goal and keeps us motivated to create new content. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 reboots on the way to keep an eye on. Number 1, The Birds. In 1963, Alfred Hitchcock brought us this deadly creature feature following a young idealistic socialite as she and others in a small town are brutally attacked by flocks of several different birds. This is classic Hitchcock, but given the limitations at the time, it would be interesting to see a modern-day interpretation. There have been talks of doing a reboot with Dietrich von Rugen as director and the infamous Michael Bay as producer, which could spell disaster. I mean, imagine mutant birds that look like the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. I don't know about all that. Currently, there isn't much known about the new script. Rumors have placed it in England instead of San Francisco, so a change of location would be refreshing. It's been speculated that Naomi Watts or Scarlett Johansson will take the lead role. Some rumors have said that the birds will be giant, or even possibly wielding weapons. Again, a very Michael Bay thing to do. Either way, I'm excited to see what's in store for this reboot. Let's just hope they don't go down the current Hollywood trend of making everything about AI, like some supercomputer chip that turns the birds lethal, or that they are in fact robo-birds run amok. Right now, nothing concrete has been released, but we'll keep you up to date as soon as we find out more information. Number 2, Jurassic World 4 Rebirth. We were first introduced to the exhilarating world of Jurassic Park way back in 1993, rounding out the trilogy by 2001. Then in 2015, Jurassic World premiered with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard as part of a new trilogy, which essentially already rebooted the long-dormant franchise the first time, to varying degrees of success. Now we're looking at the 7th film in the franchise, with all new characters and plot, once again rebooting the series after disappointing box office performance and audience reception for Jurassic World Dominion. Scarlett Johansson has been tapped to play the lead as she travels to an island that contains the current 3 largest living dinosaurs, needing to get some genetic samples from them for medical research. Once she arrives, she runs into a family who's been stranded on the island, and so now they're all trapped in the central area where the carnivorous dinos sleep and hunt. The film has already wrapped back in September, so now it's in the final stages of editing of post-production. I'm pretty excited to see where director Gareth Edwards takes this storyline, notable for other films such as Rogue One, 2014's Godzilla, and the Monsters series of films. I don't know what's left to say with these films that hasn't already been tried and retread before, but here's hoping for a pleasant surprise. And we won't have to wait too long. Jurassic World 4 Rebirth is set to release on July 2nd, 2025. So keep your eyes out for all the trailers that should be coming out this spring. Number 3, Superman. James Gunn wrote and directed this reboot of the Superman films, which was originally titled Superman Legacy. The subtitle was dropped back in February, and initially studios were going to do a sequel to 2013's Man of Steel. But due to problems with 2017's Justice League and overall mismanagement over at Warner Brothers, the project fell to the wayside. Instead, we are going to get a new Clark Kent / Supes, now being portrayed by David Cornsweet, and Lois Lane, who would be played by Rachel Brosnahan. The story serves as a pseudo-origin tale. Even though superheroes have already been an active thing in this universe for quite some time, Clark embarks on a self-reflecting journey to reconcile both his Kryptonian and human heritages, and what that means to be someone of two worlds. With supporting roles such as Green Lantern, played by Nathan Fillion, Isabel Merced as Hawkgirl, Wendell Pierce as Perry White, Anthony Kerrigan as Metamorpho, and so many more joining this absolutely stacked cast, the film promises to be a thrill ride of DC fans' favorites, gracing the silver screen. Filming finally wrapped back in July, and a trailer just dropped this week, building anticipation and birthing theories all over. This will be the first film in DC's new DC Universe lineup, called Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. So make sure to fly to theaters on July 11th, 2025 to check out the new Man of Tomorrow. Number 4, The Fantastic Four: First Steps. 2015's Fantastic Four almost entirely killed any live screen portrayal of Marvel's first family. So when I heard that Marvel's main studio had reacquired the rights, I was curious to see if they would even bother doing anything with it. Set in an alternate reality, where 60s sci-fi pretty much designed the future. Kind of like how the Fallout series looks like the 1950s, even though it takes place in the late 2100s. It skips the basic origin story retelling in favor of thrusting us into a world where the Fantastic Four have already been established and saving the world numerous times over. That is, until some kind of cataclysmic event brings them to the main 616 universe. All we know so far is that Galactus will be involved, voiced by none other than the dulcet tones of Ralph Ineson, and also feature a second Silver Surfer, the wife of Norrin Radd, Shala Ball, played by the lovely Julia Garner. It is also rumored to have Paul Walter Hauser playing a version of Mole Man, and have appearances by John Malkovich and Natasha Lyonne in as of yet undisclosed roles. The Fantastic Four: First Steps is intended to be the 37th film for the MCU, which will kick off Phase 6, followed by Avengers Doomsday, Spider-Man 4, Avengers Secret War, and an untitled film rumored to be the first in the X-Men series, most likely some kind of Avengers vs. X-Men based film. The main cast includes Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm, with rumors that Robert Downey Jr. will make his first appearance as a variant of Doctor Doom, with phenomenal writers including Jeff Kaplan, Ian Springer, Josh Friedman, Cameron Squires, Eric Pearson, and Peter Cameron, and Max Schachman of WandaVision fame directing. I'm hoping this film will finally do the classic team justice and deliver us a truly epic film that will give fans the characters a much needed breath of relief. Make sure to join the adventure on July 25th, 2025 when it hits theaters. Number 5, Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th first graced the silver screen way back in 1980 with a bang. It started with just the title, and then over a few short weeks with collaborations by many friends and industry acquaintances, became the runaway slasher success that kicked off the VHS era of horror films. Since then, we've gotten 12 films in the franchise, with the last one in 2009 attempting to reboot the series for a new generation. However, that didn't go as planned. There have been talks ever since of doing another film, but due to lawsuits over the creative rights, Jason has unfortunately been kept locked away in purgatory. In 2022, the franchise decided to do a prequel series titled Crystal Lake, but that also got shelved for 2 years until recently, when it has finally been given the green light with Brian Caleb Kane in charge. There's so many rumors going around with this show, it's actually unknown if anything will truly come of it. But we shall see around Halloween 2025 if we will actually get the show. As for the film, Sean S. Cunningham has stated that he is working on a script to once again reboot the franchise, set to come out sometime in 2027. So maybe there's still hope for a big screen Jason revival. We'll just have to wait and see.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope that you're enjoying all of our content. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. If you want to support us even further, there are numerous ways. First, check out fatninja.shop, our very own merch store where we sell t-shirts, hoodies, hats, shoes, and more, featuring our logo and other designs. You can also join our Patreon, linked in the video description. Last but not least, we have officially launched the YouTube membership program. At only $4.99 a month, you'll get access to our monthly newsletter featuring reviews, previews, and exclusive behind-the-scenes information about our upcoming projects and videos. You also get a nifty little badge and special emojis that you can use during our upcoming live stream chats. And if you're a member of our Discord channel, you'll get access to a special role which gives you even better access to the Fat Ninja staff and the chance to enter a monthly prize drawing as well as a shout out at the end of our videos. The prize drawings will only begin once we have reached our goal of 50 members. Finally, you'll also be gifted a special coupon code good for 20% off any item from our store. We appreciate each and every one of you and are incredibly thankful for your support. Each new subscriber and member helps us achieve our goals and keeps us motivated to create new content each week. Thanks again. Take care.
Number 6, Resident Evil. Resident Evil has had a hell of a time trying to transition from video games to the big screen, which is ironic since so much of the game is inspired by classic horror films, including the original game's design of positioned cameras for suspense and whatnot. Well, the film series under Paul W.S. Anderson went on to spawn 6 films to varying degrees of success, followed by an absolutely garbage reboot attempt and a wildly disconnected Netflix series. Fans still hold out hope for a true adaptation to the mega impactful hit video game franchise. Interesting note, George Romero was tapped to direct the first ever live-action version of Resident Evil, but things fell through, and ultimately never happened. But he did, however, direct the commercial for the second game in the series. For this upcoming endeavor, Zach Cregger will be sitting in the director's chair in yet another attempt to reboot the franchise. With the success of video game films such as The Last of Us, Fallout, and Pokemon, filmmakers and producers have seen that if you capture the essence of the source material, as well as sticking close to the original story, you can deliver a faithful and fan-pleasing adaptation. Cregger is a beast when it comes to his projects, pushing the envelope farther than we ever knew he wanted, especially with his last film, Barbarian, which quickly became a favorite amongst horror fans in 2022. While Cregger is currently working on another project at the moment, it's likely we won't hear too much about this till late next year, so make sure to keep an eye out for it. Number 7, The Matrix 5. This will be the first film in the franchise that won't be directed by either Lana or Lily Wachowski, but thankfully, Lana is going to be co-producer on this reboot. After many talks and rumors, we finally know more. Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss will both be reprising their roles as Neo and Trinity. Drew Goddard will be in the director's chair, with Lana overseeing the project to make sure it stays true to the originals. In this film, there will be new challenges and parallel realities. I'm really curious to see how this plays out, but seeing Keanu once again as Neo is exciting. Fortunately, we won't have to wait too long, as The Matrix 5 is scheduled to be released sometime in 2025. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. And here's hoping that this film won't be a box office flop like the fourth film was. Number 8. The Chronicles of Narnia. C.S. Lewis wrote the Chronicles of Narnia back in the 1950s, completing the tale with 7 books in the series. We first saw a film adaptation in 2005 that saw moderate success, but strong competition from other young author adaptations of films like The Hunger Games, Harry Potter, and Twilight ultimately left Chronicles of Narnia to be forgotten. With the series losing momentum, studios shelved any other film. However, in 2018, Netflix bought the rights to the franchise, with hopes of rebooting the series. Since then, Narnia has been sitting on the shelf with no real work towards the project. That all changed on July 2nd this year when it was announced that Greta Gerwig will be the director for the first 2 films. Initially, Netflix wanted to do movies and TV shows, but with Gerwig as director, they decided to just do the films. With Netflix also owning all the rights to the franchise, I'm sure there will be some differences, hopefully bringing the series to a more modern era. As of right now, production has not begun, but I'm hoping that we'll have more information after the new year. Number 9. The Brave and the Bold. Not to be confused with the Batman 2 starring Robert Pattinson, this will be part of James Gunn's new DCU, following next year's Superman film. Just like Superman, this new DCU will have long-established superheroes in it, so most of the origin stuff will be skipped or possibly retold in a quick flashback, instead focusing on their adventures much later in their quote-unquote vigilante careers. This film not only focuses on Bruce Wayne, but also his son Damian, whose mother is Talia al Ghul, the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, and has been trained by the League of Assassins. Andy Muschietti will be directing this adaptation of the classic Son of Batman story arc. It's also nice that Gunn doesn't want to rush this film just for the sake of having another Batman film out. No details to who's been cast as the new Dark Knight or any of the other roles just yet, but as we edge closer to the release of Superman, I'm sure little tidbits will be released. As of right now, there's no release date, and studios are still working out the final script, but we'll keep you updated when we learn more. Number 10. The Running Man. 1987 gave us Arnold Schwarzenegger as Ben Richards in The Running Man, which unfortunately left author Stephen King unhappy with the adaptation, but fans absolutely loved it. Almost 40 years later, the brilliant Edgar Wright got the green light to remake the film, promising to be much closer to the original source material, yet modernized for today's audience. The premise is still pretty much the same as people are forced to participate in this cruel gladiatorial game show, traveling the world and surviving all manner of obstacles, all in the name of winning the big ultimate payday prize. The danger is in the hunters who will be chasing these people, more than likely dishing out some brutal kills and tactics. Filming just began on November 4th, and is set to finish sometime in March of 2025. The original film was a product of its time, so I'm hoping Wright does right by Stephen King and stays true to the story. We will have to wait until November 21st, 2025 to see the final project, so I'm hoping we see some trailers around the end of summer. Make sure to keep an eye out for this one and head to theaters when it releases. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. We're also now on Blue Sky. You can find us at studiosfat.bsky.social, which will also link below. If you're really enjoying our content and want to help support us, click that join button for exclusive content, rewards, and perks. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next film project, so we'd greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again. See you in the next one.